Some numbers appear once and vanish forever. But 589 refused to die. It kept resurfacing, across filings in strange timelines, in whispers tied to the early days of XRP. Then came 5,890 days of silence. Nearly 16 years with nothing. Until in one perfectly timed moment, the return happened. Within just a few hours of a hidden signal, almost no one noticed. Was that coincidence? Or was it a code in time, embedded from the beginning? If 589 was only a joke, why has it survived this long? If it was always a signal, why do most people still laugh and walk away? Stay with me until the end of this video. You'll see how 589 weaves itself into XRP's timeline, and why those who recognize the pattern early are always ready when history turns. And when it's over, drop a single number in the comments, your conviction. 10%, 50%, or 100%. Coincidence or code? In the beginning, 589 was nothing more than a whisper. A number that slipped into conversations, surfaced in obscure places, and then disappeared. Most dismissed it as meaningless, a distraction, a meme, a story for dreamers. But signals don't echo for years without reason. The stranger it looked, the more it returned. 589 didn't just fade away. It kept showing up, tying itself again and again to the unfolding story of XRP. Awakening begins the moment you realize that something which refuses to die may never have been random at all. What if 589 wasn't noise, but the thread holding the entire timeline together? While the crypto world raced from one frenzy to the next, Bitcoin headlines, altcoin surges, meme tokens grabbing the spotlight, 589 stayed in the shadows. To most, it looked irrelevant, just background noise. But beneath that chaos, XRP moved differently, quietly, consistently. Not built on hype, but on endurance, utility, and timing. And that's exactly where 589 kept reappearing, woven into moments that seemed ordinary at first, but proved impossible to dismiss in hindsight. The context is simple. 589 was never trying to compete with the noise. It was the quiet signal running underneath it all, waiting for the few who were willing to listen. Here's the problem. Most people never take 589 seriously. They see it once, laugh, and move on. It's easier to believe in randomness than to consider the possibility of design. That mindset is dangerous. When everything is labeled coincidence, the real signals get buried. Traders chase pumps, headlines, and hype cycles, while ignoring the quiet markers shaping the journey of XRP. The truth is, the signs were always there, visible, repeating, waiting to be connected. But distraction blinds the majority, and by the time the pattern becomes undeniable, it's already too late to prepare. Look at the record. 589 was never a one-time rumor. It kept resurfacing, across places too significant to ignore. It appeared in official filings tied to finance and regulation. It showed up in government resolutions, like HR 589. It echoed in whispers connected to the earliest figures behind XRP's creation. Each event by itself might feel minor, but stacked together, they reveal a chain, a timeline that refuses to vanish. And then came the silence. 5,890 days where nothing seemed to move. 16 years of quiet, until the return. Not weeks off, not days off. Within just 3 hours of a hidden signal, almost nobody noticed. Think about that. Out of over 140,000 hours in 16 years, the alignment fell into a window so narrow it feels scripted. Patterns don't repeat themselves with this level of precision by accident. When the same number threads through filings, timelines, and the very history of XRP, you're forced to ask, is this coincidence or design? The proof is written in time itself. 589 was never hype. It was a marker, a code that's been hiding in plain sight from the very beginning. Imagine it. 16 years of silence. 5,890 days where nothing stirred, nothing moved, nothing spoke. People forgot. They mocked. They called 589 a fantasy, a ghost from the past. And then, out of nowhere, the silence broke. Not vaguely, not someday, but within a 3-hour window so precise it felt like destiny had been waiting all along. That's not just coincidence. That's the kind of alignment that makes your chest tighten and your skin crawl. Because deep down, you realize someone was watching. Someone tied to the origins of XRP was waiting for that exact moment to act. It forces a question most people are afraid to ask. What else is already written into this timeline, waiting for its perfect moment to surface? Once you feel that, you can't unfeel it. And from that moment forward, 589 is no longer a joke. It becomes the signal you can't ignore. Numbers don't lie. They strip away emotion and reveal patterns that can't be ignored. 5,890 days. That's nearly 16 years. Across that span, thousands of projects launched and vanished. Entire market cycles rose and collapsed. Yet XRP endured. Quietly, consistently, it remained, while 589 kept surfacing like a pulse hidden in time. And then there's the precision. After more than 140,000 hours of silence, the signal returned inside a window of just 3 hours. Statistically, the odds of that happening by accident collapse into near impossibility. Add to this the recurrence of 589 across filings, resolutions, and milestones, and the pattern sharpens into focus. Random noise doesn't echo this consistently. Chaos doesn't align with surgical timing. The math forces a conclusion. 589 isn't just a number. It's a marker embedded into XRP's journey. And the longer you run from it, the more undeniable it becomes. When numbers align this precisely, you only have two choices: dismiss it as luck, or recognize it as a signal. The majority will always pick the first, that's why they stay average. But strategy demands something different. It means treating silence like a countdown. In markets, in history, and especially with XRP, the biggest moves rarely arrive with noise. They build quietly, then erupt too quickly for the unprepared to react. Your strategy is simple. Stop chasing headlines. Start tracking patterns. When 589 reappears, when timing aligns, don't shrug it off. Position yourself while the crowd is still laughing. Because once the silence breaks again, it won't give you time to catch up. Imagine being one of the few who recognized the pattern before it became obvious. While the majority dismissed 589 as noise, you treated it as a marker. While they laughed, you prepared. If a silence lasting 5,190 days can break with surgical precision, what else is already written into the timeline of XRP, waiting for its exact moment? The vision is this: a future where signals aren't random curiosities but roadmaps, guides for those disciplined enough to notice them. In that future, you're not reacting to headlines. You're already positioned, standing exactly where history was always going to turn. Most will only see it after the fact. But for the rare few who act on vision, the story will feel less like chance, and more like destiny unfolding exactly on time. Now it's your turn. You've seen the history, the silence, the precision of 589. The question is no longer if it matters. The question is, what do you believe? Drop your conviction in the comments below. Write it as a percentage: 10%, 50%, or 100%. Do you think 589 is coincidence? Or do you see it as a signal tied to XRP's hidden timeline? And don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with one person who still thinks 589 is just a meme. Let them feel the same chill you felt, and watch how quickly curiosity replaces doubt. The rare few who act now will be the ones ready when the next marker appears. 589 has never been just a number. It's been a shadow running through filings, resolutions, and history itself. And after 5,890 days of silence, its return was too precise, too sharp, to dismiss as luck. For most, it will always be easier to laugh, to look away, to treat it as noise. But for the rare few, 589 is no longer random. It's a marker, a reminder that history doesn't unfold in chaos. It follows a hidden rhythm. The silence was preparation. The return was revelation. And the next alignment is already on its way. The only question left is, when it happens again, will you recognize it or miss it like the rest?
If this story opened your eyes, you already know. 589 was never random. It was always part of the timeline, always tied to the deeper journey of XRP. And that's why this channel exists. Here at XRP Today, USA, we don't chase noise. We decode signals. We uncover the patterns most people overlook, so you're never caught unprepared when history turns. Here's what to do now. Subscribe to XRP Today USA so you don't miss the next signal. Comment below with your conviction, coincidence, or code. Share this video with someone who still thinks 589 is just a meme. Every action builds this rare community of people who see beyond the surface. Together, we're not just watching XRP's story, we're part of it. This is XRP Today, USA, and the next signal is already closer than you think. Stay ready.